following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Way to go, Chris.
And things are already better here at the Star in Frisco. Yes, Savannah has made the open.
There you
have
go.
arrived.
Made it. Oh, I'm so happy.
You know, and we're always trying to, or I am always trying to spin it positive on this show.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good luck.
I've got one positive right
What's
off the
that?
top.
Great.
How about them Rangers?
You know, that's so funny. I was talking to my brother last night. I hadn't been checking them out. And he gave me the whole rundown on how they got topsy-turvy. We were in trouble
Yep.
2 weeks ago.
They've like lost 4, won 6, lost 4. Now they've won 5 in a row again. And so,
And have a magic number of 5.
yeah, the magic number is down to 5.
I
so
told him to
there
give me
is
some.
that.
I told him give me some information because we don't want to talk Cowboys today. So
That's right. So there you go. We got just the right topic.
So instead
What
of
and it's the final week of the baseball season.
instead of playing Cowboys Stampede, we're going to play Cowboys Retreat.
no, mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be Cowboys. That's what we're gonna do.
I was wondering if the Rangers had a Stampede song.
Yeah.
As they stampeded Seattle. All right, so might as well jump right in. Like everybody else, we jump into the deep end.
Jump into the piranha
Piranha
field.
infested deep end. And here we are. You know, there were like 5 unbeaten teams that lost on Sunday. By the end of this night, assuming there's a winner and not a tie between Philadelphia and Tampa Bay, there will be 3 unbeaten, untied teams left in the league. Miami, San Francisco, and the winner of tonight's Philadelphia-Tampa Bay.
Miami is going crazy.
Now, how do you give up 70 points?
How do you score 70 points?
Do you have enough
And
time
I
to
thought
do
I thought last
crazy.
year's Denver team was the worst coached football team.
No, here comes Sean Payton. I can do better.
I mean, that's high
I can
school.
do worse.
That's high school stuff, 70, right?
That's HBCU versus Power 5 schools. Come on. Grambling got beat by LSU. They put a 70 burger on us. So
It seems like the majority of
Say that again?
70 burger. Yeah. They
Yeah.
put 70 plus on us against LSU. If I'm not
It was
mistaken.
70 even, wasn't it?
Was it?
You know how they did that?
How?
10 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn, I never would have thought of that, Bill. It's amazing, man.
Did
The
they have
CTE
any
was sitting
hollow possessions?
I'm not sure that Miami did yesterday, but we're digressing.
there. Yes,
Well,
we are. Let's
we want to
continue to
digress.
digress. Oh, my God.
The Cardinals didn't have any hollow possessions in the first half.
That's right.
Went 5 for 5.
Yep.
And how about that run defense, guys? It was amazing.
The one that was fixed.
Yes. The one that is.
Well, I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning trying to fix that run defense. I looked at it. I've got some details here.
All
We
right,
don't have to
all
jump
right.
right into
All
that right
right.
off the bat. Let's start with some general observations.
General observation is every time we do our picks to click, we are always a week behind.
We ain't doing those. We're not going to spend any time on any of that
We are
stuff.
horrible when it comes to trying to
it's just
figure this
like-
team out.
It's just like Everson. You don't give out game balls when a team loses, and we don't review picks to click.
Because
or-
nothing clicked. The scores weren't accurate.
What was the motto last week? Put away the anointing oil, right?
Well, but
Put it away.
that's for everybody outside.
Right.
I'm not giving them that excuse that they went in there all high and mighty and weren't emotionally ready to play. Number one, to me, they had opportunities to win this game despite the injuries. And I know what the injuries on the offensive line did, missing 3/5 of your starters.
all who have been to either at least one, if not 8 Pro Bowls.
Yeah, and being replaced by 2 guys that were making their first NFL starts and had gotten into the NFL as undrafted free agents. So I understand injuries matter, but there were no injuries that affected the run defense on defense, right? I know Diggs was not there, but it was the run defense giving up 222 yards. And I was thinking, man, when's the last time they gave up that many yards or more? Well, they gave up 240 to the Bears last year, if you remember, but they won.
Well, there was a lot of the quarterback was doing a lot of that as well.
Well, the quarterback did 44 to start the game,
true.
right?
That's true.
So
worse than the 222 was the 182 in the first half.
yes, which was the most since 1981 against.
I was gonna say
against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
1991. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it may have been us. I was ready to fall on the sword.
It was 1991. So the run defense, if and the entire defense, if they had just played average, you have a chance to win the game, right? And then what we thought was, one of those things last week with problems in the red zone and goal to go. Well, it's a problem now, because now there are 3 for 11 scoring touchdowns inside the red zone. You can't win ball games like that.
And forget the red zone, the offense.
And then goal to go, even worse.
But I'm talking just in general. How many touchdowns has the offense scored in 3 games? 6.
Right?
They've got 3 passing touchdowns. One a 4-yard pass to Jacob Ferguson, one a 1-yard pass to a tackle-eligible tight end, Luke Schoonmaker, and one in yesterday's game, 15 or 16 yards, whatever it was, to Rico Dowdle.
Right.
And so none to wide receivers.
Well, there should have been one. Yes. And if anybody has the front page of the sports section of the Dallas Morning News, there is a picture of number 22 in Michael Gallup's grill.
Yes.
The ball is about from where I'm at to Savannah.
Yeah.
He's got his arms reached out, and the guy doesn't turn his head, smashes into him, and there's a flag.
Yep. As it should have been.
And for some reason, they picked it up.
What did they say about that at the press conference?
They didn't say Dak.
I meant the post game.
Dak, he tap danced around it, saying you would have liked that call or something.
Well,
like that.
but the first thing, to his credit, what Dak said was he should have
thrown the ball.
It was a little underthrown, so he would kind of put it.
But still, it's very catchable. Yeah,
it's
well,
interference.
It was catchable, but as he said in his press conference afterwards, he should have got it out quicker, got it out ahead of Gallup where he's making the catch in the end zone.
But regardless,
but then he said, Michael Gallup had the best perspective of everybody on it because he was the one that had the guy in his grill.
And since we just started there, the holding on Micah Parsons. Don't tell me the hold was at the 1-yard line. The hold was from the goal line into the end zone.
That really got me.
That was a safety.
I'm up here doing the Elmo Wright dance, touchdown celebration. I'm thinking, we're going to get this safety right now. I'm just waiting on them to get together, talk it out, and he's going to come back with this.
And, by the way, I can't wait to talk to John Fossil because I can't find the hold on Harper on the punt return.
Oh, that was a hold.
Where?
It was on the release after the snap. It wasn't during the return.
Yeah, I know, because that's why they marked it from where he caught the ball.
He was
engaged with him, and then it's hard to tell.
And he wouldn't let go.
Yeah,
he wouldn't let go.
When the guy turned, he pushed him down.
Well, no, I think it was a jersey. He had jersey.
Okay,
hey, you know me, Spags. I'm with you, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
But that was a legitimate call. That was a legitimate call.
I think you can call one of those on every.
And that is another point. It's a legitimate call, but do you call that as diligently as you should?
But anyway, the fact that they had opportunities to win the game and got beat 28-16, and even though they're in the game when it's 21-16 with 9:33 to go, you don't have to give up a 69-yard pass to somebody no one even bothered to cover.
Was it man-to-man or zone?
Well, someone was playing man.
I saw Gilmore playing man.
He was, and everybody else was playing zone.
So he followed his man inside.
Right.
He should have been deep third.
And nobody was there.
I thought he should have been deep third.
I think.
Yeah, because sometimes they'll have a defense to where there's zone one side and then there's man one side. So maybe that was one of those defenses. I have no idea.
Well, it wasn't a good defense.
It was not. That was a bad call.
So 10 penalties in this first half.
Oh, God.
In the game.
Yeah,
in the first half.
13 in the game,
Oh, yeah.
10 in the first half. I mean, what are your perspectives on just that first half as a whole. I mean, that definitely set us back big time.
That was lazy football to me. That's what I called it. Lazy football.
The false starts I didn't get. And then
it's like they all lost their minds at the same time.
the offsides, the offsides, and I saw Parson remarked about it, that the officials said something to them about calling in the neutral zone before the game started. But the one he got called for that I think they declined it. Mm-hmm. It looked like he was going to be offsides because he started, but he never crossed the line of scrimmage. And it's like, what are you doing? So
now, having said that, on the Parsons sack, Sam Williams jumped, and I went back and looked at it, and it was very close whether the ball had been snapped yet. Yeah, I on my TV at home, I had to sit there and I had to get it right. And you can get it to where the ball hasn't been snapped yet, and his hand is into the neutral zone, where they could have called it, but they didn't call it.
On the ground?
Yeah, on the ground, right.
Like he started in the neutral zone?
Right, he jumped forward. So Cowboys almost had Parsons. I'm a little surprised that the Cowboys got the call on that, no call on that one.
Which, by the way, on the punt return, I thought it was Sam Williams holding because he looked like he was holding this guy up the middle. And I said, he just got the number wrong.
Well, obviously they knew that this was an opportunity. Yeah. So everyone was really concentrating on keeping their man from coming down the field, but just a little too vigorous.
And it didn't have anything to do with the return. God, what a run that was. You could just see it.
I thought he was going.
When you're at the game, you can see the whole field at once, and you're looking up and going, oh, here we go. And that didn't happen. So anyway, to me, I understand the injuries, and we'll find out more. The worst part about them was not until Saturday did they think anybody was going to miss a game. When I checked on Friday, it was like we're making Biotish and Zach Martin questionable just to cover ourselves because they didn't practice or would not have practiced on Friday, but thought they could play.
I was very surprised.
And then on Saturday,
I thought you screwed up.
On Saturday,
and go ahead, Mickey.
On Saturday, they're leaving for the charter, and it's like Tyron Smith now turns up on the injury report. And they said on Sunday that, we're going to work him out. And then when they did the inactives, they didn't make him inactive.
Questionable.
Yeah, and they didn't make him inactive, and they said, I was told, that he was available on an emergency situation. Well, at some point in the second quarter, I deemed it an emergency. Get his ass in there.
Yeah, what are they waiting on?
Yeah, right?
I don't know. That seems like
I don't need an injury. The offense is injured.
What do they call an emergency? Jeez.
And I wondered if they considered moving Tyler Smith from left guard to left tackle.
I think,
except that he had not played.
To your point on it was so late in the week, meaning the day before the game, before they realized they didn't have these guys. Now Zach didn't practice all week, so they were fine there as far as his replacement. TJ Bass starts at right guard, but as far as Biotish goes, and so Hoffman doesn't get the reps during practice this week, and Tyron had been practicing during the week, and so Chuma hadn't got. And so had Tyler come up lame. To your point, if Tyler had come up lame on Wednesday, Tyron, come up lame on Wednesday, then they might have kicked Tyler out.
Exactly.
But we don't know for sure what Mike Solari's thoughts are on where Tyler Smith is. Obviously, he considered him from the outset. He's exclusively working at left guard. Right. But they did that last year, and then Tyron got hurt, and they kicked him out to left tackle.
Because during the week, Chuma Aduga was playing left guard.
So if Tyron was out for multiple weeks, I wonder what they would do.
I know what I would have done.
They would probably kick Tyler out to left tackle, I would think.
Put Chuma at guard.
Yeah. So, but since Tyler he was just coming back, getting his first activity of the season.
Well, he hadn't played a game since
last year.
The last
he looked like
year.
it. He looked like it.
So
there was a lot of penalties. I don't know if you have that, Savannah. How many penalties did he have?
I don't have specifics.
Tyler?
Who?
Oh, I thought he just had one.
Was it just one?
Yeah.
I thought I saw at least 2 calls on him.
All right, so
pretty bad.
Well,
so I don't know. That's what I thought. That game was winnable, even though they got beat.
I agree.
28-16.
I agree. I agree.
It was definitely winnable. Okay, when we come back, how about we look at just how Arizona was able to run the football so well against the Cowboys?
This is going to be your segment.
Sunday. Well, no, I did some research on it, and everyone else can chime in when we come back here on Mick Shots.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, and Everson asked the question about Tyler Smith and the offense, but you're thinking more Terrence Steele rather than Tyler. Yes. Tyler, according to Pro Football Reference, Tyler did not have did not have a penalty in yesterday's game. So just to clear that up.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Let's clear Tyler Smith's name. Now we'll look up Terrence Steele here in a second. But all right. So why were the Cardinals able to run the football so well against the Cowboys in this game? I think, as you do as well, Mickey, that they took advantage of the aggression that Dan Quinn's defense plays with.
Right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Second play of the game.
Second play.
Josh Dobbs.
Micah Parsons tackling James Conner, and he ain't got the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And there is nobody over there. And I mean, nobody's there. And if Bland doesn't run him down, it's a touchdown. He's going.
What the Cowboys had over
73
there.
yards.
Okay, the formation, the personnel that the Cowboys had on the field, they had on the right side of the defense. Parsons was at right defensive end, and he immediately rushed the passer.
Right.
Okay. And Dobbs on the zone read took the ball out and headed right past him. And so then you had Donovan Wilson and Jaron Kearse out on the flank, and they had two tight ends blocking both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Hole was right there, and right up the seam goes, down the sideline goes Joshua Dobbs for 44 yards.
And they ended up double-teaming Kearse over there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So they're in two tight end, but you're playing your big nickel defense with Kearse.
And all the tight end Ertz had to do was seal the edge, basically.
Right.
And it wasn't any great block that he had to put on Kearse. The Cowboys were so intent on playing forward, aggressive defense, which has worked for them so much, that all the tight end had to do is get in the way, and the back or the quarterback in this case is down the sideline.
And it's Donovan Wilson's first game, right? So he takes a false step to his left, and then.
And to me,
that's all you got to do. It's amazing in football.
He's a veteran.
One false step.
Other linebackers were to the other side of the formation, right. Clark and Vander.
Last year, he was one of the best safeties in the league, period. Right?
But he hadn't played.
That's the second play of the season.
I don't care if you hadn't played or not. Here's my thing, Spags. That's basic football.
I know.
That is basic football. He's got the tight end. I have leverage. That's basic football. I don't care how long you've been out. You got it. Junior high, middle school, they know, I need my outside shoulder free. And man, you can't come in. He was so aggressive. Mentally he was too far ahead of himself.
Well, I think what we need to figure out is who's setting the edge over there.
He was.
No, it should have been Parsons.
Yes, because you got two tight ends. What if the tight ends go out and
Parsons fell for the handoff to Connor.
Wilson was the one that was supposed to have outside leverage. That's all I'm telling you on that particular play.
It's the second play since January. Think about it.
I do. And, once again, basics are basics. And
we don't know what the defense was.
I'll bet you this doggone microphone here that he's supposed to be outside. I'm sorry, guys. I don't care how long it's been since you played. Basics are basics. And now, in regards to being able to make the tackle, yes, that's one thing. But just the mentality of where I need to be is where I need to be. I don't care how long it's been since.
So it goes back to what Bill and I said. Their over-aggressiveness got him.
Yes.
And you know what? I asked DeMarcus Lawrence that afterwards. And he said, you can say that they were way too aggressive and everybody is going like hair on fire after the ball and not everybody playing their responsibilities.
Yeah, he said it was a big wake-up call for the team, for sure, for defense.
With the Cardinals,
the whole team.
The Cardinals,
and the whole team.
Right.
The Cardinals did what we thought the Giants and Jets would do against the Cowboys defense, which was run the football against them. Okay, when you've got an attacking defense like the Cowboys have had, and especially with the success the Cowboys have had with an attacking defense, what do? You run right at them, and neutralize them.
Well, I look at it like this: the Jets and the Giants, they ran at their strength. They ran to the numbers. They thought they could overpower them. Mm-hmm. What the Cardinals did, they went backside, and they had numbers to the weak side.
They also had the
overloaded
quarterback run
way.
Threat. They had a quarterback run threat too.
That's just another player that you attack backside. So I don't care what position you had. If you had a linebacker versus a safety over there, it didn't matter. They were outnumbered to the weak side, period. Every time you ran that way, the hole was big, not because it was a cornerback over there. I don't care who was over there. They were still going to be outmanned on that side.
And the Cardinals could look at what the Giants did on the first drive of the game with Daniel Jones running the football. Mm-hmm. And you can see that this defense can be susceptible to it if you're going to pin your ears back and go after a sack all the time.
Zach Wilson did the same thing.
Can Mac Jones run the ball?
Well, yesterday he got a quarterback sneak, and then they were playing it was the corner. Sauce Gardner and him got into it big time after a quarterback sneak late in the game yesterday.
So then go to the next possession, and the defense actually stood up inside the 5-yard line, right, and forced a field goal. Then they get the 20. It was a 22-yard pass interference on Bland on the deep ball. And it was basically him doing to Brown what was done to Gallup, and they didn't pick up that flag, by the way. And that got him all the way to the 23-yard line.
The best thing I can say about this game is they actually made some good run adjustments in the second half.
Yep.
And they,
You think after 182 in the first half, they figured out?
Why, so is it tough to? Hell, I was there. I should know, but it shouldn't be that tough to make that adjustment after the first quarter.
Well, as Mike McCarthy said, if you wait to halftime to make the adjustments, you're late. You got to make them right away.
That's right. And we didn't do it into the second quarter.
Because then that second possession, when they ended up scoring the touchdown and then decided to go for two, after the Cowboys, what did they do? Jump off sides? They jumped off sides on the extra point? Is that right?
That's true.
Yeah, Osa was off sides.
And then that's when they decided.
And so they decided to go for two and then didn't make it, and it was 9-0. But they also there was also a little dump off to Connor for 10 yards on 3rd and 2 to make it 1st and goal.
Well, I think we jumped off sides on a field goal as well, didn't we? And they tried to. We had a penalty, and they tried to go.
Oh yeah. And then they still kicked the field goal.
the field goal.
Yeah.
Right.
So let me ask you, Everson, the mindset of the defense when you lose coming into a game like this. I'm trying to account for. Is there something to be said for when you look at the aggressive play of the defense, trying to do too much to make a big play when you've lost your Pro Bowl cornerback Trayvon Diggs and you know your offense is down 3 starters on the offensive line, where it's not a question of effort, it's an attacking frame of mind that they have that they got to make a big play, and the success they've had not only in 2 games this year, but 2 seasons of the calling card of this defense is coming up with takeaways.
And when you look at defenses that are trying to have the reputation that the Cowboys are trying to have, it's going to be, we're going to smother you no matter who you are or what you run. But the coaches have to make that adjustment. You can say we're going to smother you all you want. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, smart coaches are going to figure out what's the alternative.
And they made that adjustment at halftime.
Yeah, but once again, it's too late.
Yeah.
You know, you could have made that adjustment after the first quarter. Even after the first drive, you should at least say, okay, guys, I see where they're trying to attack us. We saw it. The fans see it. What happened after the first drive? Okay, they're going backside. They're going to the weak side, overloading by one side, going back to the weak side. You could see that after the first drive. So where's the adjustment then? That's what I'm looking for.
So what did you see on Rondell Moore's 45-yard
Rondell Moore, 45-yard touchdown.
The one that made it 15-3.
Cowboys had, I believe Micah, I'm looking at the TV copy, so it's hard to see some of the players, but I believe Micah was not on the field for that one. I believe Sam Williams was at right defensive end.
And I wrote down he got blocked.
Who he?
Sam Williams.
Uh-huh.
He didn't set the edge. He got shoved inside.
What happened to the linebacker coming over?
14 was Marquise Bell was the linebacker.
He got blocked.
He had a tough day.
You had, here was what they had up
Marquise
front.
Bell.
They had 3 wide and a tight end flanked out, as I wrote down.
And it was up front. They had Armstrong, Golston, Gallimore, and Sam Williams.
So they had the second team line in on 2nd and 2 at the Cowboys 45.
Then the same grouping was in on the previous play, which was a first down completion to Moore for 8 yards from 47. And the Van Der Esch and Marquise Bell were the linebackers, and Van Der Esch was to the left side of the defense, and Bell was to the right side, which is where the play came.
Right. See, and on that possession, they had them 3rd and 11 at the 42, and that was the one. Not only did Parsons get called for offsides, Donovan Lewis got called for holding, and so they got 5 yards and a first down to set it up at the 47.
Jordan Lewis.
Did I say?
You said Donovan Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Jordan Lewis called for holding, yeah.
Yeah. Who's Donovan Lewis?
I have no idea.
I got a little bit of each, right?
I was looking for number 6.
Yeah.
Wait, I got Jay Lewis there.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. And Rondell Moore, you get him in the open field, and you're not catching him.
And, you got to recognize they lined him up as a running back, right? He was in the backfield,
yes,
right?
He was lined up as a running back.
So we start off big nickel, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, why? Because We knew what they were going to try to do. We knew they were going to try to run the ball. Why are we starting off big nickel?
That's what we do. I don't know.
Do we always start off big
because
nickel?
In the Jets, they started off with 3 linebackers, and they had Micah on the line of scrimmage.
They
as the
started
fifth.
out. The reason we started out big. Okay, that's the base defense. Basically, for the Cowboys, it's a 4-2-5 is the base defense. Basically.
That's not what we
and
did
whether
as
you
Jets.
got the big nickel is having a third safety, the regular nickel is having Jordan Lewis on the field as a slot.
Yeah.
The difference was they had 2 tight ends on the field. They went 12 personnel the first 2 plays of the game, and so that's why Donovan Wilson was on the field and not Jordan Lewis in that case.
But you would think 2 tight ends. Let's put in once again like a third
Make
linebacker.
Parsons the linebacker
Like
and
you
bring
did
in
against the
a
Jets.
true
You would have
defensive
a
end.
Dorrance Armstrong playing defensive end.
Right.
But the Cowboys have not been doing that. For whatever reason, that's not
But you
what
would think that the approach that they had against the Jets, personnel-wise, that's what they would do against the Cardinals. And I say that because we necessarily don't respect Dobbs as a quarterback. We're looking at them running the ball with Connor. We knew that's what they were going to do.
Or with him.
Yeah, we did
They
know.
come out with 2 tight ends. So, okay, they're letting us know we were right. But no, we put in big nickel. Why? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
The base defense basically has Micah Parsons as a defensive end, not a linebacker. Right?
Yeah.
So
we got linebackers. We have linebackers.
You don't have enough linebackers there.
You have because you could find the linebacker to play in.
Marquise Bell is your third linebacker, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Either he or Wanye Thomas.
Said basically.
It was
not necessarily.
And Wanye Thomas had no snaps on defense yesterday.
Did not see him. No.
Right. He had no snaps on defense. So Marquise Bell took the place of DeMarvion Overshown, who was going to be your third linebacker.
Okay, so let me just ask a simple question.
It just seems to me when you do that, that's to defend a passing quarterback or a tight end that you can't cover.
That's what I'm saying. This is so you tell me who lined up? Who did they have against the Jets, linebacker wise? Who they have?
Well, I'm sure it ended up being either Curse or Wanye Thomas, because that was Darren Waller, right? No, was that the Giants?
That's the Giants.
Giants. And they used Wanye Thomas to take on Waller in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell you who, and I apologize.
I do remember the first play of the game. First play of the game against the Jets when DeMarcus Law had Lawrence had a 4-yard tackle for loss of Breece Hall.
Yeah,
they were run on that particular play. They had, and I don't have it written down here, I'm going off memory here. They had D-Law as a stand-up linebacker on the left side. They had Chauncey Golston at left defensive end, Jonathan Hankins in the middle, and Osa at right defensive end as like a 5 technique. And Micah was a stand-up linebacker on the right side, and you had Damone Clark and Leighton Vander Esch at linebacker.
Right.
We talked about it last week. It was your traditional Bill Parcells 3-4 defensive look.
We did talk about that.
Why not ditto that? That's my.
And that's specifically why last night late after I got off work, I went home to figure out what were they. Did they run that to start the game? And they did not.
And so, but Arizona came out with
12 personnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that was like, they're letting you know this is what we need to do. We need to repeat what we did against the Jets.
And Zach Ertz has a nice name, but he ain't the Ertz from before.
Right.
I don't think you had to worry about the tight end beating you, right?
In the passing game.
In the passing game.
Yes, I understand.
All right. We continue with more.
Continue with frustration.
Just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker, Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
Dallas Cowboys Game Time, powered by Lenovo, the official gaming platform and community of the Dallas Cowboys. Sign up now to compete in Madden 24 for a chance to win 2 tickets and a VIP experience to a 2023 Dallas Cowboys home game. Qualifiers begin on October 6th and run through the 13th. Learn more and register at DallasCowboysGameTime.com. So last night, I know we had a lot of negatives, but I was looking at one of the positives.
All right, let's have it.
Brandon Aubrey was 3 for 3 last night.
Yes, he was.
So good news there. I mean, he honestly, it was his first, he's the first rookie kicker to make 10 career field goals, 10 for 10 this
Start
season.
the
so far.
season, yeah, for the Cowboys.
So that's good news.
Yeah.
That's very good news.
On
All
the
right,
bright
you want to
side.
make this a good news segment?
Optimism.
Okay, what are we going to do for the next 13 minutes?
I liked Hunter Lipke.
He was great, yeah.
He did.
How about giving him the ball on the goal line?
Now, we were asked that question last week,
Right.
and
Exactly.
I just kind of dismissed it. That, we haven't seen that, whatever. As soon as I saw him carry the ball in the game, I said, I'm good with that.
He was leaning forward, too.
And he's got a lot of experience carrying the football.
His one
college.
run, was it 3rd and 2, or he went for 8 yards?
That's right. First down.
I don't know who it was that first said that. I think this guy ought to make the team around here. But, man, that guy was a football genius.
Okay, there's your positive.
Would you write that down, please?
No,
I will.
You know what? And when he's in there, he blocks well, too.
Yeah, I
by
mean,
the
you can
way.
see, and sometimes they set him up sort of in a tight end role on the wing, and then I can see his versatility. Now, he doesn't have the length that you want to see in a tight end necessarily, but his versatility offsets that, where Sean McEwen role from last year, Lipke gives you more there.
So question. Daryl in Corpus Christi wants to know, why no Turpin, why no Deuce last night?
That's a good question. I thought of it.
Deuce played no snaps on offense, 1 snap on special teams.
And Turpin only got a couple, I think. I put it in here.
Let's look.
So why, Mickey?
I'm thinking they were just scared of that offensive line to do anything. Because at one point I said...
Anything gadgety?
Yeah, at one point I said they were getting close inside the 20, and I basically said out loud to Nick Harris, I said, they need a gadget play right now. And they tried the end around to CD, and it didn't work.
But gadget plays don't work when you have inexperienced offensive linemen.
Right.
Because they're the ones that always screw up the blocking. And because, first of all, they're having a hard enough time just going ABC blocking. Now, all of a sudden, you throw in some tricky stuff, and it always leads to a disaster. I don't think I would have played them as much either, because the pace of the game wasn't in our favor. You play guys like Deuce and Turpin when you've got the game under control offensively.
Turpin
we were nowhere close to that.
2 offensive
We were
snaps.
nowhere close to that.
Yeah. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
I think they had to when they saw on probably on the plane flight to Arizona, they're changing their offensive game plan.
You had to.
When they knew those
You
two
had to.
guys weren't going to play.
Because that's how we got in trouble last year. We tried trick stuff. He misses this. All of a sudden, we're like, oh, crap. He's right in my face. And then we got a fumble or a turnover, an interception or something like that.
Which was why there was more an emphasis on running the football.
That's
right.
Because of the offensive
Just keep him
line.
going forward. Keep him going forward.
And so Rico Dowdle was another positive from yesterday.
The only thing I
Yes.
saw yesterday I was disappointed in Dak in regards to he's very passive on the RPO. There was a couple of times he's giving the ball to Pollard. They all went with Pollard. He was. I'm sorry.
You're good.
He
I keep doing
actually
this,
said after the game about the red zone or goal to go
Yeah.
problems. He goes. He said, "I got to be better, and I probably need to use my feet more."
He's got to. 2 times it was wide open. If not for a touchdown, it could have been for a first down.
Right.
And you put yourself in position now because you gave Pollard the ball. They were on it, and it was a 2 to 3 yard loss. So at least mitigate some of the losses by just using your feet a little bit. It may not be a touchdown, but you won't be sitting at 3rd and 6 as opposed to 3rd and 1.
Even on the pass to Gallup in the end zone, he was a little slow, and he admitted afterwards he needed to get it out
was
quicker.
soft. It was soft. It was a soft pass.
And
he was so wide open.
What was so interesting too was after that. Okay, there were about 5:20 left in the game at that point when they picked up the flag, and then 5 straight rushing plays.
Right.
And then the last play, the interception. And so over 2 minutes of the clock comes off but during those 5 rushing plays.
And I'm sure a couple of those were RPOs where he probably could have kept the ball and done better with it.
So did you have a problem with them going for it on 4th down? And they got stopped instead of kicking the field goal?
Yeah, they needed to kick the field goal there, in my opinion.
See, I thought
because
you.
It's just the math on, okay, now you're down 8, you get it down to 5.
Right.
And with the time left, and I know the coach is looking at it that, okay, how many more possessions are we going to have and that sort of thing.
And at that time, they had made some defensive adjustments.
But as it turned out, they had enough time where if they had kicked the field goal, I mean, let's say now the game wouldn't play out maybe the same way because the field position is different, whatever. But let's say from a timing standpoint, if they had kicked the field goal and they had gotten the ball back in the same timely fashion, they got down and they kicked another field goal. Now you're down 2 points rather than 5 points at 21-16. You would have been 21-19, and then a field goal wins the game when you get the ball back the next time.
Was that at the end of the?
If you have your starters in, that's a good idea.
So
that's a good choice.
I think,
but you don't have your starters in on the O-line.
This is what happened.
That's why I didn't have confidence in scoring touchdowns.
He had in his mind, I think, when it was 3rd and goal at the 3, that this is 2 more downs. I'm going 4 downs here, and then they got the hold on Udoga, and so it ended up going 3rd and goal at the 13, and then they got 9 yards, so they were almost back to the same situation. Because on 3rd and goal at the 3, did he throw the ball on that one? That was the one he dropped the snap. Remember, he dropped the snap and then it was incomplete.
And that was with 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was early.
4th and 4. The incompletion was with 2:57 left in the 3rd quarter.
But in his mind, he heard me saying, "The more field goals you kick, the closer you are to losing."
Who says that all the time? Gets on my freaking nerves.
Me. And it's right too, by the way.
Now there was a game last night apparently or yesterday afternoon. I guess it was the Chargers. No, it wasn't the Chargers. It was the Raiders. And Josh McDaniel had a 4th down. They were down 8, and he decided late in the game, and he decided to kick a field goal to get within 5, rather than going for it on 4th and 4
then
play.
They scored and ended up winning, right?
No, they lost. They kicked the field goal, got to within 5.
Yes.
And I did not see it myself. I'm hearing people on the radio talk about it today, and he's getting roundly criticized, and it sounds like rightly so, for
not being more aggressive.
Yeah, for kicking the field goal, just from a math standpoint.
Right. Right.
And what he said after the game was, well, regardless, we're going to have to get the ball again. No, regardless, if you score a touchdown, get a 2-point conversion, you've tied the game, and even if you don't get the ball again, if you hold the team from scoring, you're going to overtime. You don't have to.
You know how you have some teams, they want to just they think they need 2 scores.
Yeah,
they say let's just get the field goal.
They're thinking about winning the game rather than forcing overtime. Yeah. Anyway,
Cowboys would have loved overtime.
Yes, we would have.
And I can't remember. I think Dak said it. Dak said it. He said if we was it him or McCarthy? One of the two said it. If we had scored touchdowns instead of kicking field goals, we'd still be playing right now. Meaning, you got to score touchdowns. And I know the offensive line. I get it. But you were so close.
So you were good with him going forward on 4th and 4.
I just thought he was going to do it. I thought he was going to do it on the
Would
third.
you have done it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was tired of.
I know.
Got to
That's
score.
your philosophy. You can't kick field goals.
Well, he said it's going to be week 5. Didn't he say week 5 to where we have our red zone together? They mentioned that on TV. It won't be until week 5 to where red zone is going to be where it needs to be.
You get beat 28-19. Big deal.
Oh, yeah.
If you kick that field goal. Because they gave up a 69-yard pass after they were down by 5 points.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for this
awful edition.
No, it was a very good edition.
Of an awful game.
What did we accomplish? What did we accomplish?
We got the reason why they lost.
We got it off. I got it off my chest.
All
That's
right.
what I got.
And the 24-hour rule is up here in just a few hours.
And if you want to text, 817-290-3298 tomorrow.
Okay. And for the next show, which is Hanging with the Boys, coming up shortly here on DallasCowboys.com.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!